Hey people, CzarThwomp here, and welcome to episode 5 of Ace Attorney Investigations. Last time, we finished investigating the hallway, and we started confronting Jacques Sportsman about him being the murderer, because Edgeworth determined that he's the murderer because Maggey's fingerprints were on his door, even though she claimed to have unlocked it. So, anyways, we're going on.
You there!
Sir!
Please escort the young lady out, but remember, be gentle. We're going with Jesus. We're all good.
Maggey!
Detective Gumshoe!
Oh my gosh, I am sorry my voice is off with the girl. Is there nothing I can do? There must be a way to turn this situation around. If only I had a clue. Did I miss something that can help me cast doubt on his alibi? I need to calmly think this through one more time, and with logic. Only logic can save the day. Anyways. Basically, twice, and Portsman's alibi, because, simply put, Portsman came into the office once, he came in first earlier, and then Edgeworth's robber, he came in second. Evidence points to the shelves being disturbed once before and once after the murder. But who is to say that the person who did it the second time is the same as the first? Which could mean that there was another person who paid a visit to my office tonight. And I love just how everyone's just standing around while Edgeworth is coming up with this logic. And mind you, Edgeworth is saying all this out loud. So really, how are they not hearing this? How is no one addressing this? If indeed there were two culprits, then that resolves the contradiction behind our murder weapon. Despite the fact that there are two bullets here in the room, the murder weapon only shows signs of being fired once, leaving the possibility that the other bullet was fired from the other visitor's gun. Furthermore, if we suppose that the second culprit's gun was the one that was pointed at my back, Mr. Portsman, it seems that I need to amend my assumptions regarding this case.
Great, so you finally come to your senses. Good, you're going with Jesus now. Mr. Edgeworth!
Sir, what are you saying? This has been a big misunderstanding on my part from the start. I had assumed that the person I ran into was the killer, but that may not be the case.
What do you mean?
The person I ran into was just your average thief. A thief? But sorry, doesn't that cause some sort of contradiction in the facts? Not at all, it simply means that the killer was someone else. And it means that in actuality, two culprits stole into my office tonight, because apparently my office is like the Grand Metro. What do you mean two? It explains both why my shelves were disturbed twice and how there were two guns. Mr. Boltzman's tricked Miss Bad and gained entry into my office.
Now you're just leaving the argument. You still don't have any actual proof, you know.
If you could please go along with my hypothetical scenario for now, Mr. Portsman. In the end, you really are innocent. If you really are innocent, you should have nothing to worry about. Now then, returning to my scenario. Mr. Portsman was out to steal something from me, which is why he checked my secret safe and ransacked my shelves. This is the first time. So then, this would be when the files were put back in the wrong order, right? Correct. And then, just when he was about to look somewhere else, who should walk in but his own partner, Mr. Faith? But why did Mr. Faith come into your room, sorry? He probably had business with Mr. Portsman, which is why he was in the area. But that's when he knows sounds coming from my office would be the guess.
Oh, because you were supposed to be away, right?
And he must have thought it was odd, so he came in to this office to check it out. Plus, he probably wanted to sit on your couch, not that I blame him. Correct. And as a detective, that was the right thing to do. Except it was my office, so I am going to be cutting his pay post-mortem.
But when he came in, he found his own partner standing there.
Because it was Mr. Portsman, Mr. Faith probably let his guard down. But Mr. Portsman was not so merciful as to let him leave alive. He waited for a chance and stole Mr. Faith's gun from him, and then... But how would he have stolen the gun, really? Like, what... Did Portsman just say,
"Hey, Jim, you want to see your gun?"
I don't know, Jacques. Mr. Portsman, I don't feel really comfortable doing that.
Come on, let me handle this gun. Come on, do it for Jesus.
He killed him. He silenced Mr. Faithful, catching him in the act of stealing. This was the moment in which the first shot was fired, the one that landed in my files. Following that, Mr. Portsman wiped the gun down and left it behind as he made his exit. He could afford to do that because he had also left the fake dying message behind. You're such a complicated troublemaker, you know that? Well, if things were as simple as that, then all would be solved, however. There was yet another visitor to my room, and this is where it gets complicated.
There was another?
Visitor, sorry? Yes, and this other person's objective was to also steal something from me, because apparently I'm the guy everyone has to steal from. What am I, like the target of a Robin Hood novel? Now then, even after Mr. Portsman left, the door to my office remained unlocked. However, this new visitor had no way of knowing that, and so they stole the master key from the security guard's room. But if they did that, wouldn't they have realized that the door was unlocked? And now I can just imagine the thief. Damn. Just nonchalant damn. You'll know who the thief is when we get to them. Don't worry. And then they entered my room and searched through my shelves. This was the second time they were disturbed, and it seems the thief found their prize. The stolen old file, right, Zoe? Correct. Only just as the thief was about to leave with the file, I appeared. The thief then threatened me with their own gun and made their escape. Though really, you'd think that Edgeworth would have noticed the difference in voice, though. I mean, really, the thief and Jacques were two different people. I almost spoiled the guy's name. Sorry, I'm just so well versed with the series I almost spoiled things without even knowing it. The second bullet was fired during that brief encounter. So the shell's getting messed up twice and 2 bullets. It was all because 2 different people were doing those things at 2 different times. Precisely. So do you now see, Mr. Portsman? The person I met with was just a thief, and was not, in fact, Mr. Faith's killer. Your alibi for the time frame in which I ran to the other person's now rolling. And then the thief they just stare down. Oh, Faith's dead. So what? Yes, don't even contact help. Just don't even give a hint that something happened. No, just like ho. Because we now know that the murder took place during the first culprit's visit. What's so funny, pal?
Absolutely splendid. Your scenario explains everything.
Of course it does. It's Mr. Edgeworth after all. He knows everything. Mr. Edgeworth is the god of our world.
But you know, it still doesn't change the fact that it's all circumstantial. Supposing if, and that's a big if, your theory is right, it would indeed render my alibi, which has withstood scrutiny, mind you, irrelevant. I'm gonna fly like an eagle. But there is still one defining point of your argument for which you have no evidence. Your supposition that I was the first visitor.
Oh, Mr. Edgeworth, you can't let him get away with that, Zoe. But he has a point. I have absolutely no proof at this point. But that would mean that Portsman's alibi would be what ends him, because really, if it was 2 o'clock, Portsman couldn't have been there, so obviously he had to be the first visitor.
Don't say that, sir.
I don't believe this. Don't worry, Maggey. I'll do something if I must. I'll blow up the jail. I'll blow a hole in the wall. We'll escape.
You know something? I find your attitude to be somewhat peculiar, Mr. Edgeworth. If the person you met really was just a plain old thief, then why is that person not your main suspect? That is, if your theory is correct.
They had their own gun?
That thief you ran into should be the real suspect, wouldn't you say? We should be out there looking for that thief right now. They might still be nearby. I hate to repeat myself, but I've already said I was training in my room. And when Jim came to deliver some evidence to me, I was down in criminal affairs, so I can't be expected to know what happened around here after I left.
So you think we should be out there looking for the real thief?
Of course! Now isn't the time to be wasting our time on dead-end discussions.
I don't think it's at all dead-ended. I find your alibi to be fascinating. Let's continue where we left off, shall we? I know he's lying. I know he was here at the scene of the crime, going through my stuff, touching my stuff, thinking that he's all that when he's not all that. Well, I'll just prove it. Okay, oh, I'm feeling so much better. I swear, why is it that when I always do visual novel games, my voice, the first few episodes are always the worst. The first day of recording is always a mess, and then second day, I'm feeling great. Now, for this one, I think we have to do a press. I'm just going to do some pressing. Actually, no, I wouldn't.
Why not?
That's elementary, the dying message, of course. Mr. Ace Killer very clearly left those letters on the spines of those files, and it was after that they were on there that the thief stole one of them. You mean the old files, right? And that's how we also know the letters themselves were set up and not from Mr. Fate. If the thief was the killer, do you think they would try to undermine themselves?
Maybe the killer just didn't think of that either. Yes, that must be it. Maybe, just maybe.
Plus, we have to listen to the epic music. The epic presto music. Once escaped, I highly doubt a thief would linger nearby.
Well, you never know. Maybe they didn't get what they were really after.
Oh? You talk like you know quite a bit about this thief.
It's nothing like that. I have no idea about anything after all.
But according to Mr. Face's note...
Hold on, I thought we already cleared that up. Didn't we say that Jim left that note for me in the early evening? If you have proof that he left it at a different time, say, just before he was murdered.
I don't have any, no.
You see? So I insist again that I was in my office the entire time.
I think this is what we're going to need to press. I wasn't sure. Why'd you go there with Why'd you go there with Mr. Faith?
That's because he said he was tired and was going to take a quick nap. You know those sofas in the hallway? He likes to sleep on those. It's one of his habits.
And what of the evidence he brought back?
They were things related to yesterday's case. Just 2 items, a gun and a pendant.
Interesting. This piece of testimony seems too crucial to let it slip through the cracks. Yes, because if you remember in the note... It said 3 pieces of evidence. Oh yeah, I'm back, baby. Only 2 pieces? I believe the proper phrase here is, you fail! You fail! Like the Crash Bash. You fail! But really, only Edgeworth can deliver such sick burns on the fly.
Excuse me?
You fail as a prosecutor, Mr. Boltzmann, as you intend to keep evidence hidden from me.
What are you talking about? I haven't heard anything from you.
Well, here's a piece I think you should read carefully.
It says that Mr. Faith was bringing 3 pieces.
Yes, and this is the victim's real dying message to you, Mr. Boltzmann.
I can't believe to get tripped up by the simple arithmetic.
Where is the missing piece of evidence?
It's with Jesus.
You have it, don't you? Only the guilty would make such a face. And the constable, don't forget the constable, Detective Gumshoe. You don't have to say him, sir. I'll pat the guy down from head to toe.
What? Don't get any closer. I'm warning you. I roll with Jesus.
This is all part of the investigation, pal! So don't even think about stopping me. But I love how aggressive Gumshoe is with the pal. Just look at all caps. Gumshoe never does that ever again. So you know Port's been done screwed up. Because literally, no one messes with Edgeworth's office. You mess with Edgeworth's office, you call forth the fury of Gumshoe. Look at that fist. Gumshoe looks like he's ready to strike Portsman down.
No!
Gumshoe then shoved that fist up somewhere Portsman wouldn't want it to be. Hey, what's this? He had this on him, silly! Despite what you said, it would appear that you have something to hide. But why would he hide something like this? There's only one reason why anyone would hide evidence of this caliber. Because it would unequivocally point to that person himself as the real killer.
Yeah.
Let's examine this ear tape in a little more detail, shall we? For the section of the tape that will drive the last nail into his coffin. Basically, we gotta use the thing, so get ready to see my mouse. Anyways, first let's look at this. This will actually be a little foreshadowing for later. The KG8 incident. That's a police case number, sorry. Does that mean this video is evidence from that case? Interesting. However, what's recorded on this isn't what's important right now. Let's give the casing a thorough once-over. What was wrong with me? I couldn't say thorough. Anyways, what we really want to see is this blood on the back. Ah, that's blood, isn't it? Yes, and I believe this is what the good prosecutor was trying to hide from us. This blood is still fresh. You mean this might be Detective Faith's blood?
No, you've got it all wrong.
No amount of denial can save you. We have but to run a blood test to find the truth. You told us that you had received evidence from the victim earlier. Now you will tell us when and how did the victim's blood find its way onto this video.
Yeah, it's totally suspicious.
Was it at the moment of his death? Did Detective Faith have this videotape on his parsonage when you killed him?
You know very well there's no way to prove that.
Not even if we were to examine this tape for fingerprints?
Yeah.
If I had to take a guess, I'd say that the only ones on here would belong to the murderous you and Mr. Faith.
No, impossible. I'm going with Jesus. With 3 E's.
Mr. Bozeman is placed under arrest for the murder of Detective Buddy Faith, sorry. Very good. And the result we got back from the lab tags on the tape turned out to be real solid, sorry. The blood work came back and it was definitely Mr. Faith's blood on there. And as a bonus, they were also able to lift a few of Mr. Faith's fingerprints as well.
Thank you so much, Mr. Edgeworth. I still can't believe I got to see your cool deduction skills outside the courtroom. I'm impressed beyond words, sir.
Oh great, Maggie's voice is now dipping into like a Monokuma. Maggie's gonna play in the next killing game.
I'm planning the next killing game. I'm gonna come in here.
And then Edgeworth comes into the office.
Hello, Mr. Edgeworth. I'm your Haymaster, Monokuma.
It was nothing. I'm just sorry you got caught up in a matter in my office. Please accept my apologies.
It was nothing, really. Compared to what I've been through, I mean, I consider myself lucky it was only a burglary and a murder this time, sir. If it had been a hold-up or a hostage situation, I might throw my hands up in the air. I think I'm finally rising up from a gossip misfortune to just an unlucky person.
Something tells me we should have hired a different person for security detail. You know something, sorry, that Mr. Bozeman really was one corrupt prosecutor. Really, Gumshoe? Really? Coming from a guy who actually worked with Manfred von Karma on a case. And why would you say he was corrupt? Well, I heard that there were a number of suspicious things related to his court cases. There's even rumors about how some of the evidence he used is forged, sorry. And yet, Gumshoe never even thinks of Edgeworth like that. In the first game, Gumshoe was like, Edgeworth, Mr. Edgeworth is all holy! Literally, Gumshoe was like, Mr. Edgeworth, he was only thinking of us. And then Bozeman, he's accused of the same things. And then Gumshoe's like, that guy was corrupt! Literally, Gumshoe. I know he's not your god and savior Edgeworth, but come on. Forged evidence, huh? Oh yes, Gumshoe, because all prosecutors who are accused of using forged evidence are criminals and not corrupt. And they even decide not to prosecute a few cases for some really vague reasons.
Oh, that guy was a complete disgrace to the entire profession.
We never did get around to asking what his reason was for breaking into my office. Yeah, whenever we got near the topic, he just clammed up. Although we can be pretty certain that was to steal something. That's just between you and me, sir, but there's a rumor that some sort of huge organizations involved behind the scenes. The Illuminati, Gumshoe. Are you going to say the Illuminati? Because otherwise, I'm going to have to cut your pay because you're apparently spending all your money, you're squandering your funds on tabloids. Oh, well. With Mr. Bozeman not willing to divulge anything, it certainly leads credence to that rumor. It would seem that we haven't heard the last of this.
Huh? Mr. Portsman isn't the bad guy?
I didn't say that, but rather that there are still many more mysteries for us to solve. For example, we still haven't figured out the significance of that piece of evidence. Okay. The stolen O-Series files, I believe. The person who stole this file, the other villain of the night.
Yeah, I wonder who it was.
And what happened to the stolen pages? I wonder, who in the world was it that held me at gunpoint?
Mr. Edgeworth, sir!
Yes?
I came across this while I was processing your office earlier, sir.
This card.
What is it, sir? Is that a bird or something on there? A claw?
It's not just any bird. It's the mark of the raven, a three-legged raven. Even though you should know that what this is, Detective.
Oh, it's about that thing, isn't it? The great thief everyone's talking about.
Yes, it's the mark of the great thief Yatagarasu. Under the mark of a legendary bird, the Yatagarasu is knowable to an end. To the end, a modern Robin Hood. Of course they will steal my office rob from my office because I'm rich. Labeled mysterious and phantom-like, the Yatagarasu appears and vanishes at will. Though we don't know much about this thief's ultimate goal, we do know the targets. Also, notice how the card we saw was black and white, had a black background and a white bird. This one on the page has a white background and a black bird. Just remember that. Just remember that for later. The Yatagarasu likes to find and make public evidence of corrupt dealings of all sorts. The theft is always performed in silence and always with perfection. Once a target is chosen, no dramatic calling card or announcements is set forth. Instead, the chosen corporation is infiltrated without even the target noticing. Some days later, the evidence that was found is sent out to the mass media. Along with this single card. Although it has been a while since the Yatagarasu's last appearance.
Hey, Mr. Edgeworth, look, something's written on the back.
What? Let me see.
It's the location of where the thief put the stolen files.
So the person who stole the contents of the file was the Yatagarasu. Yatagarasu. Organization. Quite a few key words are popping up in this mystery. The murder in my office. The return of the great thief, Yatagarasu. Looking back, I can't say I didn't see these events coming. For they were heralded by the incidents that began to occur 2 days ago. So guess where we're going for our second case. Also, I didn't notice. Also, if you notice in the background there, Franzie's going to be making a return. She's actually going to make a return sooner than you think. I'm not saving the game because we aren't done. Anyways, I think now would be a good time to end things off because, you know, start the whole next case with a fresh video. Anyways, I really appreciate that you stuck around to watch this episode. You're a great viewer. You come back to the next one. If you like this video, like, subscribe, comment, share, do whatever that you want. And with that, I'll see you later. Bye.